And so the official anthem of the UEFA Women's Champions League. It's an anthem that's been heard around these parts many times. There have been famous nights. Let's have a look at the team news then. 3 changes for Arsenal from the last Champions League 11. Interim coach 𝗚𝚗𝚘𝚗𝚘 opts for Daphne von Domselaar in goal over Manuela 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. There are also returns for Beth Mead and Alessia Russo. The incoming trio all played in Saturday's 2-1 loss to Chelsea in the WSL. Frida Leonardsen-Mornem and Stina Blackstenius moved to the bench. There is no 𝗏𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 in the squad. Well, they know the task, and they know what waits for them. All the homework will have been done. And for Arsenal now, it is imperative that they find some points in this Champions League campaign. The visitors, well, they're in a similar mindset. No one wants to be on 0 after the first 2 games in a difficult group. And a meeting for the captains and for tonight's officiating team, led by Marta Huerta de Asa. She leads an all-Spanish team of referees. Experienced in Spain's top division, went to the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Colombia earlier this year. Dished had 2 red cards on Sunday in Spain's men's second tier. She was busy. Might hope for a quieter night this evening. And for Valeranga, 2 changes from their 1-0 defeats to Juventus last week. American defender Michaela Kovacs and Limvikius in midfield back in. Iselin Sonnes Olsen and Stina Brecken are out. So a big night for Niels Ledtjärna and his side. You might say an even bigger night for Arsenal. They've made changes. They have strength and depth. The likes of Alessia Russo brought into the 11 to try and make that difference. It is René Slegers in charge this evening. And don't forget, join the 𝐷𝚘𝚘𝚘 fan zone and experience the match from an altogether different perspective. Right now, we want to know what you think the full-time score will be. And so access the fan zone on your mobile or via the 𝐷𝚘𝚘𝚘 website. There are plenty of big questions we can be asking you. One big question might be, well, who is to be the next Arsenal manager? There has been much talk in the 24 hours or so, or just over now, since the exit of 𝗚𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Some talk about Casey Stoney, who was sacked after a poor season start by San Diego Wave of the NWSL. It's up to sporting director Edu now. But tonight, though, a celebration of football on the pitch, and for Valeranga, a chance to see how far they have come and test themselves against what are still one of the best sides in Europe. And so they will know the enormity of the task against them. However, the word from the camp has seemed to be that it's a good time to play Arsenal. Niels Ledtjärna said they're not in a good moment right now. It is hard to argue with them. And they'll be out to make a statement. North London side tonight. More important than ever that they do. And Russo is trying to get away quickly. And already Arsenal on the attack. She's got Beth Mead in the centre. It's forward though. And only half cleared to Emily Fox. It was Elisa Torsnes who got the ball half away. However, the follow-up ball was too weak from Leah Williamson. Arsenal start as they mean to go on. This is Mariana Caldente, and she's found a 1-2. And Arsenal could be in here. Russo, and it's come free to Emily Fox. And Arsenal needed that dream start. And with barely 60 seconds on the clock, the WSL side have the lead at Arsenal Stadium. Well, how crucial could that be to changing the mood around this place? And the American has plunged her side into the lead right at the start of this one. And while all the talk has been about Arsenal, can they handle it, this period of change? But right from the off, they've looked venomous. First it was Russo who tried to strike at goal, maybe question of her hand there, but Emily Fox, well, she wasn't going to wait around to find out. You can see her calling for it. Right place, right time. And Arsenal have the lead. And now then, for Valeranga, a nightmare. This was exactly the turn of events they wished to avoid. And they've been such a force back home, the Norwegian side. 12 wins in a row in the 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚊𝚍. Their first loss since July. The loss on match day 1 of the Champions League against Juventus, the 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚑. And they have a corner now to be taken by 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚑𝚘𝚗. Can she find a blue shirt, of which there are many? It's close to the goalkeeper. And well, 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚑𝚘𝚑 ended up in her own net there and trying to gauge the angle. It has been a frenetic start. Not even 3 minutes in. We've had chances at either end, a goal and one. And Arsenal looking to avoid a potential banana skin. We saw big teams suffer in the Champions League last season. Arsenal themselves suffered in the preliminary stages. And we saw Real Madrid go the same way. They were eliminated with 2 group games to go after a defeat against Paris FC at home. Very quickly, the matches can rack up, and if you don't have points on the board, it becomes a difficult prospect. However, Arsenal have given themselves the best chance of success in the opening salvos. And there will have been huge sighs of relief in and amongst all that cheering. This is McCabe. Pass was a little short to Williamson. And she took 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚑𝚘𝚘 out of position. Well, Caitlin Ford, she scored just before half-time on Saturday to halve the deficit in the WSL. Wasn't to be, though. Another loss to add to the tally. 3 without win. Arsenal are now in all competitions, only won 1 of their 4 so far in the WSL. Did have that creditable draw at home to Manchester City. And also a discreditable draw against Everton, the early strugglers. As for Valeranga, they too were in action at the weekend, took on Lyn, won by 3 unanswered goals. That takes them to the cusp of the Norwegian title. They can seal it against Kolbotn at home on the weekend. Will be their 3rd, 2nd in a row. But they're defending now because Russo is coming forward. And she's got Mead in the middle. Might use Mariona Caldente. Finding a little pocket of space has become difficult with the way the blue shirts have tried to crowd the angles. Still though, Arsenal will be overjoyed with the way they've started this game. It's Mariona. And just lost out. Away by 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚑𝚘𝚘 Yanni getting forward. Where's the captain's armband? 3 years at Valeranga. René Slegers and 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚘 will have done their homework. The interim coach, it was probably a plan put together by 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 She was the 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 boss after 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 left for Arsenal. 2 titles and then came to North London to work as his assistant. Arsenal now need to just be careful, not to get carried away. Signs that Valeranga is starting to thaw. It's 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. She found a nice ball as well to 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. And there's Yanni Thompson on the overlap. Options in the middle here. Sterling-Gurda is in there. So is 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. That's the question. The answer is goal kick. Well, it was a looping ball, and there were 3 shirts as well looking to get onto the end of it. It was the Icelander 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 in the end. Right idea to try and loop it back over the goalkeeper. But if you haven't been following Arsenal regularly this season, there has been chopping and changing between the posts. And tonight the honour's given to Daphne van Domselaar, Dutch goalkeeper. And her Austrian counterpart, Manuela Zinsberger, left on the bench along with the young Naomi Williams. It was Zinsberger who started the Champions League group campaign in the game against Bayern Munich, and well, it was going rather well for Arsenal at time. Mariona Caldente gave them the lead in the first half, but was cancelled out just before the break. Rousseau away, and she's found Beth Mead here. Bonnie's in the middle, might come to Mariona Caldente, up towards Ford, but headed away by Michaela Kovacs. This is Mead again. And now Fox, she's been the difference so far. 𝗬𝗓𝗓𝗏. That was her goal that brought the score to 2-2 on match day 1 against Bayern Munich, the Spaniard. And that's how it was until the late stages, and then we had a flurry of goals from Pernilla Harder. 3 in 13 minutes. It was 2-2 with 18 to play. Went down 5-2. First time Arsenal have conceded 5 in a competitive game since this competition in 2008 against Umur. Here's Little, and she's found space for Rousseau. The flag is up. And it was hit with power and placement by Alessia Rousseau, but it's all immaterial in the end. And she was in a suspicious amount of room. Remember, there is no video assistant referee. Well, I don't think we'll be needing one for that. Rousseau only 1 goal in 9 this season, scored against Rangers in the 6-0 win in the qualifying for this competition in September. Battle is on from 𝗬𝗘𝗏𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗. This is Ford. Arsenal just enjoying the space at the moment. Mariona Caldente. McKay. I was looking for Little. It was an ambitious ball. Mead got something on it though, and this is Fox now. And again, trying to send Rousseau. And they've been caught a bit flat-footed here, the Valeranga defence. It's Rousseau in again. And somehow to safety from the goalkeeper, 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚊. Well, they couldn't have asked for more. Well-weighted ball by Fox, and Rousseau was away. Defence couldn't react quick enough. It was Kovacs trying to come in and make the block. In the end, 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚊 got just enough on it to take it away from the target. And so it will be McCabe with the services of Beth Mead nearby. And a whole host of Arsenal options in the middle. And the assistant referee is just making sure that the 10-metre distance is respected by the away team. It's a lovely floated ball in, but at the defensive head of 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚘𝚗𝚘𝚘𝚘. This is another opportunity for Fox, and she's taken that one a little bit too close to the goalkeeper. However, just a rock backwards from 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚘𝚗𝚘. So 10 gone. And 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚘, well, you normally say that goalkeepers, when they've got a handle on the ball, they can gain some confidence from their first save. Her first save was a show of awkwardness. Valeranga might have to act quickly to stave off the Arsenal peril. Because it's a confident-looking Arsenal at the moment. Here's McKay. Leah Williamson. So good to see her back playing football again. No way further forward there for 𝗬𝗓𝗓𝗏𝗗𝗓𝗏𝗏. Arsenal will be happy with this though. This is Leah Williamson. was given away and cheaply by Beth Mead, but to no avail. The ball forward from Valeranga, who are yet to properly make their imprint on this game. Had that one chance, didn't they, for 𝚑𝚘𝚾𝚗𝚗 daughter. Looped over the crossbar of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Here goes Mariona Caldente. Looking for the run of Russo again, but this one taken down well by 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚗. They have to sharpen up at the back for Valeranga. Well, this game's going to get away from them quickly on what we've seen. Mariona. It was time for 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚗. They have a confidence they've lacked perhaps in recent weeks, Arsenal. They can rack up a big scoreline tonight, well, it'll do them the world of good. Got West Ham away in the WSL on Sunday. It's understood that 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗 will still be in charge for that one. Got the international break coming up as well, don't forget, so it's prime managerial hunting season. Forward by Mariona, and this time Russo was marked out of the game. They'll start again with 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗. Well, these two meeting at contrasting points in their domestic seasons, and sometimes it does bring that extra bit of sharpness for the Nordic teams. And forward has got away. Corner it will be. Emily Fox, I should say. It's such a fluid Arsenal unit so far that it seems they're all occupying different positions. It was forward with the ball forward, and Fox, well, we've seen she likes to get forward so far. So it's going to be Beth Mead's ball. Over the head of Williamson. That was away by 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗 in the end. Physical presence at the back for Valeranga. Here's 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗. Thought she'd seen a ball open up nicely for her. Still yet to get going the away side. Given away again by 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗. This is Mariona. 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗 choosing to take the conservative route away from goal. Here's Little. Codina moved to the bench on Saturday, was an unused substitute. Has tried to rotate the side. 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗. A lot of important games at this stage in the season. That's lost by Mariona. And to start again is the goalkeeper Emblem, who less than confidently finds touch. It's been a very tricky start for those at the back. Goalkeeper and the three in front of her. We saw 𝚬𝚘𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗 Olsen come out of the side for this one. Don't forget, by the way, to join the 𝐷AZN fan zone. You can experience the match from a new perspective. And we want to know who you think should be the next Arsenal manager. See if you can riddle us that one. It's something that'll be talked about a lot, I think, in the week coming. Would you agree? Sporting director Edu and Claire Wheatley to discuss that one. We've also got more Champions League action coming your way on Thursday. We've got Chelsea and Celtic coming along to see if they can improve things. And after the second game, it's an idea, isn't it, of how the standings are going to open up. Who's your player of the first half then? I think there's one standout candidate, isn't there? It is Emily Fox's goal that separates us. That's going to be a free kick. Mead tripped. 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗 just got the wrong side of it. Iceland international. Now then, what can forward do? She's got Little coming through the middle. Wanted not to use her in the end, and she was harried and hustled away. And now here comes Thompson. And she's been allowed a bit of freedom here. Tried to find a ball through the middle as well towards 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗. But it was marked out well. And Arsenal have passed the test. This is 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚘 and little. Kadina. Well, van Domselaar, she got a handful of Champions League games at her old club Twente. Approaching 30 caps for the Netherlands now, the bulk of which came last season. She's a goalkeeper on the up. Played well for Aston Villa before her move. It's taken forward by Mariona, who's taken two out of the equation here and earned the advantage. And she's used it to try and play in Russo, who was then sent tumbling to the ground by 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚗. And a yellow card goes to the experienced defender. Well, Elisa 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚗, she's one of a kind. She can play in defence and in attack. She's been thrown into the back line for this one, the 36-year-old. Well travelled. And she's coming up against one of the better strikers that she will have faced this season. And Russo had her pace there, I think. While there is a healthy tradition of women's football in the Nordic countries, the question is, and has been for a few years now, can they match the levels of the best? Always difficult as well, coming to the end of their seasons with contract situations and the like. We saw Brand and Beko Häcken last season both defy the odds. This is McCabe's ball. Ball was going to be close to the goalkeeper. And this time it is a safe clutch from 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. She is the only senior goalkeeper that Valeranga have in their ranks now. And two understudies, both under the age of 21, joined earlier this season. Got one of their main goalkeepers, Jalen Tompkins, suffering a long-term injury. Hasn't disrupted their title charge, though. They're 11 points clear of Brand at the moment, with 12 available. That should see them safely into the Champions League first round in the next edition. Set to have, of course, two UEFA Women's Club competitions for the first time. There is pressure on Kovacs there. Had to be helped away by Leen Vikjes. Offside called against Caitlin Foord. Valeranga into this competition thanks to their run to the championship in last year's competition. Runs from spring to winter. Most of the competitions in most of the Nordic countries. Also into their domestic cup final, they'll take on Rosenborg next month. Arsenal, who've already faced Rosenborg this season, that's the only other time they played the Norwegian side in a competitive game. 𝚑𝚘𝚛𝚊 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘, ironically the Norwegian among them who got the goal. That was back in early September, and that's how long the run can be into this tournament. Saw Valeranga start at the same time. They beat Farul Constanța of Romania 3-1 in the opening game. And then to come past Anderlecht of Belgium over two legs, 5-1 they won it. It was close after the first. They were held to a 2-1 victory away from home, but then ran away with it back in Oslo. This is Sara Herta. 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚘𝚘𝚗 trying to loop one cross field. You could see the target, that was Janni Thomsen. However, it only ended up at the feet of van Domselaar. Dutch player now playing under a Dutch coach. Which coach will she be playing under in the next couple of weeks, I wonder? No time frame has been set out officially. We know that René Slegers will be staying for the weekend game in the WSL as well. And that's not gone out in an opportunity here. Olaug Tvedsson. And she had a head up well to bring in 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚘𝚗𝚘. Only half clear, Bjelda picked it up, and Thomsen. And forces a good save out of Daphne van Domselaar. Well, her first proper action, the Arsenal goalkeeper. Had to be alert to this. It was McCabe's clearance, but only to a cluster of blue shirts And the Valeranga captain forces the corner. And there's a small but proud pocket of Valeranga fans inside Arsenal Stadium tonight. They're down the other end of the ground to this corner from Janni Thompson. Who can the Dane find? First, she's got to have the ball overlapping the corner arc. And, well, if it was initially, it was very close. Goalkeeper stayed put and will safely see that careering over her own crossbar. 𝗚𝚘𝚊𝚘𝚘𝚘 they want to get ahead on it. Signed in January from Lillestrøm. Well, we often see this, don't we? A centre-back dropping back to help out with the dead balls. Here's Mariona. 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Oh, she played that a bit close to Karina Säävi. This is 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚘, and 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚘 with pressure on her here. Nearly had her pocket picked by 𝗙𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Referee wasn't happy with the manner anyway. And so after a blistering start with a goal in the second minute of the game, we have settled into more of a rhythm now. The referee not happy with the lack of progression in this game. However, though, the tide has been stemmed by Valeranga. Arsenal still threatening, though. This is forward, and she's got Mariona on the overlap. And Russo in the middle. Mead was there too. Fox to try and follow it in. And Valeranga can bring this ball away. Nowhere obvious to go with this one for Säävi. Oh, it was presented to 𝚑𝚘𝚛𝚊. Option is Säävi. And there have been too many loose passes. That one right behind 𝚑𝚘𝚊𝚘. And then the opportunity that they've had to get back into this game, Valeranga. Well, the best one was foiled by van Domselaar, and the others have been rather wasted so far. The Oslo-based club in the Champions League group stage for the first time, and they'll intend to kickstart their campaign. Whether they're going to be able to in this game depends on whether they can find the net. 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 has been one of their goal threats in the domestic league. 3 Valeranga players in the top 6 scorers, and well, that was played almighty close to 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 there. She's one of them. Joint third in the top series for goals. She will be one of the threats that Arsenal have identified in their analysis. This is Mariona. That was ahead of Fox. Oh, the goalkeeper's kept it in, but at what cost? Mead had it for a second. And the second time, well, it's a more relaxed ball because Arsenal know they've got bodies in good areas here. McCabe using forward, up against Thompson. How about Liddell? All the while, the blue shirt to try to shut off the angles. McCabe. To Russo, tried to hold it up for Mariona Caldente, didn't come off. And so far Arsenal have had a slickness to their game that's been lacking in the early weeks of the season. Russo looking to add the goals that have been lacking for her. There's Williamson. She was named in the England squad yesterday by Sarina Wiegman. Friendlies against Germany and South Africa later this month. Forward by Laia Kadina. It's forward. McCabe with nowhere to go forward. Arsenal just waiting for the right moment. Little. Thought she might have seen the run there. Wanted not to go with Caitlin Foord. This is 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝗏. Everybody behind the ball for Valeranga for long stretches. This is Little, trying to squeeze it through the eye of the needle. Didn't need to in the end. Mead, and now Fox again. This time away. And helped on by 𝚙𝚘𝚊𝚝𝚐𝚑, albeit straight at 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚏. It's all that Valeranga can do to get the ball out of their defensive third, never mind their own half. McCabe fancies a go. Well, she got a deflection, and she's got a corner for her troubles. And I wonder what he makes of this. Niels Lexer at the club since early 2022, and it's all been working towards this, he says, the Champions League group stage, as he approaches 100 games as head coach. They had a few near misses. They don't want this campaign to get away from them before it's really started. You can qualify after taking 0 points from your first 2 games, and it's mightily hard. Oh, met well! And the follow-up by Cadena, and Mariona Caldente has to go to the turf. It's Little! And there might still be a follow-up from Russo. And Russo again, but straight at the goalkeeper. And Valeranga survive once more. And 𝚬𝚊𝚝𝚊𝚑, it was all she could do to take that ball away. Had to play Arsenal single-handedly. 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚏 misjudged it, but what an opportunity, a series of opportunities for Arsenal. This is McCabe. Mariona Caldente, look at her go. And she's left Vicious behind her. And she's got support as well. A save by the goalkeeper, but it won't keep out that effort. Caitlin Foord. And Arsenal have a second. Well, the Australian onto the score sheet. That's 2-2 for her. And Arsenal now have a cushion of comfort on such an important night for the football club. Motoring away through the centre of the park was Mariona Caldente. Mead to her left. In the end, it was Foord to the right who put it away. That's what you call a wealth of attacking option. And will it be plain sailing from here? Well, you've seen this kind of margin given away. Arsenal will know all about teams racking up goals in quick succession against them. However, Valeranga have not showcased the kind of attacking football that makes that a likelihood at this stage. And it's shaping up to be a rather sore night for 𝚘𝚊𝚝𝚏. And the Norwegian side, who on occasion have got forward, now find it imperative that they do so with more vigour and more gusto. Need to find a double, at least. Well, they won the top series in somewhat controversial circumstances last term. They were 1 point ahead of Rosenborg. They had a 1 point deduction and a better goal differential. Did only lose twice in the whole season, though, and that's what brought them into the early round of qualifying for this tournament. However, it's now 3 goals conceded in the group stage, 3 goals without reply. Who will be the one to step up? It's a heavy touch from Bjelde. And while Arsenal, we said they look fluid and have bodies all around the pitch that seemingly know where the next pass, the next through ball is going to fall. Valeranga look a little bit disjointed so far. And it's been the few Arsenal mistakes, if anything, that have allowed them into this game. Does that goal from Caitlin Foord take them out of it? Here's Williamson. It was a ball that 𝗷𝗚𝗄𝗧𝗏 wasn't expecting. Caretaken by 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝗏, and she did well under pressure from 𝗙𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. And this is forward now. Look at Russo in the centre. Midas joining up. Williamson up from the back, but 𝗬𝚘𝚘's ball wasn't to feed. Fox now. Williamson. All going over the top here. And no way through for Mariona Caldente. Just too much weight behind it. Well, it was a sweet ball in, wasn't it? Williamson who made it the first time. That flurry of chances, and little had a go. And then finally Russo, who just couldn't force a way through the barricades. All-out pressure from Arsenal. It's the kind of response that those fans will have feared and the home fans will have wanted. They seem determined, though, to enjoy their evening in North London. And I'm sure that's a feeling that every football fan can empathise with. Russo ran into danger called the 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. That'll be a dead ball. 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘, a veteran of campaigns in the United States, in Australia, Utah Royals, Canberra United. But didn't have a presence so far in the Champions League. She was actually benched in the top Serien game at the weekend, presumably to keep her fresh. However, it's Arsenal who look the fresher. 𝗚𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 got a foot in. This is Mead now. No obvious option going forward for Fox, and Arsenal, well, they've not forced the issue, have they? And those in attendance are now starting to let their presence be known. This could be an awkward moment, though. 𝗷𝗚𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 all but lost it there. And now it has come free. And 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘, and she scored! And Valeranga are right back in this game. 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 with the goal. And it sends the travelling support, small but hardy, their contingent, into raptures. And what did we say? It's Arsenal's errors that have given Valeranga legs in this game. And the home fans now are trying to do their bit to rouse the home side. 𝗚𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 completely lost in possession against 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Great presence, question on offside perhaps. 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 though still has to put it in the net. And that she did. Well, she's a known goal scorer back home, 𝗚𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. She hit 7 goals in 5 games through July and August. And she's opened her account and her side's account for the UEFA Women's Champions League group stage. And what does that do to Arsenal now? Needn't panic, and they've attacked with aplomb so far. That was not part of the plan, and it was an utterly avoidable goal to concede. Williamson is inviting pressure from 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 there. And the perfect response would be a quick goal. And we saw one of those to start this game. Things are slightly different now. Whoever loses this game will be rock bottom of the group on 0 points. Mead forward. She was looking for Russo, didn't find her. Away by 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. And by Kovacs. This is 𝗫𝚫𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Played it straight at Mead. She'll be grateful. And Mariona Caldente, forced behind by Michaela Kovacs. She was brought into the side, the American, for this game. Scored the opener in the round 2 first leg against Anderlecht, and then was sent off. 2-1 up at the time, it didn't cost them. It's okay to McCain. How often have we seen her in this position? Need the support, 𝗑𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚘𝚘 is often the headliner in these circumstances. It's a nicely floated ball as well. It was 𝚘𝚛ness whose head got to it. Picked up by Fox, and Arsenal again with an array of options to go forward to. McCabe. Sometimes your goalkeeper is your best bet. And the fans, well, they've not given up on Arsenal yet. Not by a long shot. Within seconds of the goal going in, the noise levels raised from both sets of supporters. Do have a strong connection with their fan base, this club. One of the best supported in the WSL. A little lost that for a moment. Allowed a bit of space for 𝗙𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 to exploit. They do move it with such grace, Arsenal. Here's 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 and Mariona. Forward now looking at her options, and she used McCabe for the 1-2 up against 𝚑𝚘𝚛𝚊 now. Still Rousseau and Mead in the centre. Forward looking if she can find them. This is Mariona. Too short almost for 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. It's Mariona, then Little. Played it short for Fox in the end. It was an easy gather for Kovacs. This is 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘, lost it. Arsenal have bossed the midfield so far. Just want to cut out the errors. Here's 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 and Little. Now Fox. What can Williamson do? 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Always seem to be 3 or 4 Valeranga shirts clustered within 10 metres of the ball when it's in the Arsenal half. And as soon as they step into that attacking third, which they do with Fox. It's Little now. And now custody to Williamson. And Rousseau. And there was no through run this time. Oh, that's been picked up. And look at Mariona. And it took the very best of Michaela Kovacs to recover that. And the American did well. All of a sudden, the danger was upon Valeranga. Mariona Caldense didn't give up on that ball. And an excellent tackle. And that's what she can do, get into those tight areas. In from Barcelona in July. 3 Champions League titles already to her name. And she'll be one of the targets here. This is Rousseau. Emily Fox. Looked like she fancied a go from range there. 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Heavy deflection took it towards 𝚘𝚘ness. And again, Valeranga can clear. This will be a huge boost for them if they can take it as a 1-point ball game into half-time, but threat coming through again. And Williamson thought that might have been hers. Not afraid to get up from the back is Leah Williamson. Played full 90s in the last 2 games for her side and looked fresh as ever there. One of the trio was in an offside position. I don't think that Leah Williamson was, though. Opened a new 3G pitch in her hometown of Newport Pagnell a couple of weeks ago. Used to arrive at that pitch at 6 AM with her mum, who would turn on the car headlights so she could do her runs before school. Who's your player of the first half then? You haven't got involved in the zone fanzo yet. You're missing out. That's a question for you to answer. We'll let everyone know what you think after the interval. Forward it goes from 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. She put it into a good area, but offside given against Kovacs there. Here comes Russo. Looking for the run of Mariona. And McCabe. Mariona with a couple of options here. And Arsenal, conversely, think of the psychological boost they can get with a goal before half-time. This is Williams. Ďuričić saw the ball through the middle. She'll try again. Fox. She kept it alive, but in vain in the end. How different this game feels now that Valeranga are on the score sheet. There's Little. Kadina. A mistake that led to it. A goal for 𝚬𝚘𝚊𝚍𝚘. Despite that error, there has been plenty of good to be infused by. That was a foul from 𝚬𝚘𝚊𝚝𝚐, clear as day. Here's Mariona. Might use forward here. Up against 𝚬𝚘𝚝𝚗 and 𝚬𝚘𝚍𝚘𝚗. And she splices them open to find Russo. Forward again. And Arsenal finished the first half with a bang. Going for goal here. And she forced a good save out of the goalkeeper again, Russo. 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚊𝚝 got down well. And the England striker, well, she saw an angle she wanted to exploit there, Alessia Russo. And it's going to be another lioness in Beth Mead to take the corner. So Williamson, Russo, all in there. Forward as well. It was flicked away by 𝚬𝚘𝚝𝚗. Not sure she needed to do that. Could have cleared all those in red. And from Rosenborg this summer, 𝚬𝚘𝚝𝚗. Well, there's no rush from Arsenal here. I wonder if they can grab the goal in what remains of the first half. Well, again, we'll see that two-goal lead re-established and that breathing space that comes with it. McCabe's delivery. Oh, it's gone all the way through, and Williamson was there. Goal kick. And so a generous enough helping of added time signal. That would have been the dream start to it. Little was up for it. So too was Kovacs, who got something on it. Also took a bit of a teammate 𝗫𝚫𝚅 with it. Down the line by McCabe, and the option was Russo. And there's Mead in the middle here for Alessia Russo, up against 𝚬𝚘𝚗. Now it's McCabe. And she tried to beat 𝚬𝚘𝚗 with the cross, and in the end the defender did enough there. And a dead ball is all that Katie McCabe could conjure up. Well, a big team talk for him incoming. Gifted away back into this game. What words of wisdom can 𝚑𝚘𝚝𝚗𝚗 find for his charges? Might have to be some words of consolation for 𝚑𝚘𝚗𝚊𝚝. And a rough ride for Valeranga goalkeeper in the opening half. Dirty under pressure. As was Williamson. Oh, and it's been seized back here by 𝚑𝚘𝚗𝚘. And Thompson couldn't find a way through to goal. Run away by Ford. Sometimes it's smartest just playing for touch. Listen to the sound being made by the away supporters. Wonder what the arm-time team talk will be like from 𝗚𝗚𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗. This will be the first that she's led. Former Dutch international. And there are still several layers of polish that can be put on this Arsenal performance. I think the judgment will be they've been good enough so far. And now Russo saw the path opening up through the middle. And away by Fox. A slip from 𝚑𝚘𝚛𝚊𝚘. Here comes Thompson. Trying for the cross, and it was towards 𝚑𝚘𝚛𝚊𝚘 daughter. And what an end to the half that might have been. Well, it does end this first period, but Arsenal in front. However, not the smooth sailing that they might have expected of 𝚑𝚘𝚊𝚘𝚗 and co. Goals quickly out of the blocks to put them in the driving seat. However, despite that brilliant start, courtesy of Emily Fox, Valeranga have brought them right back into a battle. And it's with a 1-point ball-game margin that we leave the field. All to play for in the second half. Well, it's been some half of action. We had goals, we've had misses, we've had disappointments, we've had trickery and skill. They've been entertained. Most of the entertainment will have been pleasing. We might not have counted on that goal from 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Let's get some post-first half thoughts.
With UEFA, speaking to 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 goal?
Karina does a very good job. She takes the ball from Arsenal and she plays me perfectly through. I have open space. I just take a touch and I put it inside. So amazing feeling. Yeah.
You halved the deficit for your side. It's 2-1 at half time. What did you make of your side's first half performance?
Arsenal is very good. We have to get used to this tempo, and I think we do better and better. They are crucial in the box and they score, but yeah, I'm curious to see what Nils is going to say, our coach, and hopefully we'll do a better second half.
So those are the thoughts of the Valeranga goal scorer, 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. She's brought her side back into touching distance of this game. Arsenal still, though, with the lion's share of possession. Look at that, nearly 3/4 of the ball. And we will have, well, the second half coming your way in a quarter of an hour's time. Arsenal 2, Valeranga 1.
First time buying crypto? It's like your first visit to a taco truck. You're thinking, are these guys legit? What's in that? Do I even like tacos? So you start with un poquito, a taster. If you like this, we can mix things up. Go off menu, spicy as you like.
To achieve World Cup glory, the only thing I'm missing The only thing I'm missing. The only thing I'm missing is your support.
In Paris, 2 tips of a mustache hangs sadly, for the artist's great work was going so badly. But thankfully, his muse had a Red Bull to lend. And the artist's great torture met the finest end.
Make a game of it here.
Penalty. Oh, one man's going to miss.
Here we go.
Yeah, he's aimed it. 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚊𝚘𝚗. Intense pressure. One shot!
Not again, love.
That is unreal. Here we go.
Absolute perfection.
So, what did you think of the pitch I emailed you?
Yes, the one that you emailed me. I remember. The pitch of Dog Days. What a title. Here we are. Very Victorian, which I loved. Unique relationship is formed. I love unique relationships.
With a twist.
I know, because I read it.
Great. I'm going to tell them you're interested.
Women's football.
It's Cuthberts! Sensational Chelsea goal! It's a Chelsea masterclass. When they needed her the most, Barcelona level it through 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. It's Barcelona again in the Champions League final.
For the 4th time in the Women's Champions League semi-finals, Lyon and PSG. And PSG have raced into a 2-goal lead in Lyon. Matching on the turn! Oh! Besho across. A titanic match awaits us.
What a noise. What an occasion. So here we go then. What a final we have ahead of us.
First time buying crypto? It's like your first visit to a taco truck. You're thinking, are these guys legit? What's in that? Do I even like tacos? So you start with un poquito, a taster. If you like this, we can mix things up. Go off menu, spicy as you like.
To achieve World Cup glory, the only thing I'm missing. The only thing I'm missing. The only thing I'm missing The only thing I'm missing is your support.
So, what did you think of the pitch I emailed you?
Yes, the one that you emailed me. I remember. The pitch of dog days. What a title. Here we are. Very Victorian, which I loved. Unique relationship is formed. I love unique relationships.
With a twist.
I know, because I read it.
Great. I'm going to tell them you're interested.
In Paris, 2 tips of a mustache hangs sadly, for the artist's great work was going so badly. But thankfully, his muse had a Red Bull to lend. And the artist's great torture met the finest end.
Make a game of it here.
Penalty. Oh, if one man's going to miss.
Here we go.
𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚊𝚝𝚅. Intense pressure.
One shot! Not again, love.
That is unreal, Bob. Here we go.
Absolute perfection.
Well, welcome back to North London. It's a wintry evening, borderline winter in this part of the world. It certainly feels like it, though. And Arsenal, they've hit the front foot, and then the back foot, and then we've had something in between. It's been that kind of half at Arsenal Stadium. I'm Cameron Pope, your commentator. Thanks for joining us. And well, if we have another 45 minutes like the first 45, I might not have any voice left at the end of this one. It's been interesting at both ends of the pitch, a game that both sides need to win. It's not exactly terminal if they don't, but it'll be mightily hard to pick up the pieces if you have 0 points from your first 2 UEFA Women's Champions League games. That's a fate that at the moment, Valeranga of Norway will be suffering. The Norwegian champions, soon to be recrowned, it seems. Come in against, well, a strong Arsenal side who have been anything but in recent weeks. Let's have a look at the story of that first half then. Messy at times, but Emily Fox in the right area at the right time, as all good players are, to turn home after just 60 seconds, and then Caitlin Ford with the second, but a mistake from 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Game on. And so we have 45 more minutes of it. You're in the right place. That is their most winnable game of this campaign. And at 2-0 down in, well, the opening moments, they might have feared the worst against Arsenal in this one. And here come the home side. Well, can they build on the foundations they've built? That remains to be seen. Caitlin Ford helping to open up the gap that was then closed. And we're back within one as we enter this second period. An Australian and an American on the score sheet, but then 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚊𝚍𝚘, she knows where the goal is. She's proven that in the Norwegian season all year long. In every game in the Norwegian top flight, she is one of the first names on the team sheet. And I'll be glad she was on the team sheet tonight. We saw some great games earlier on DAZN, your global home of women's football. A 2-0 win for Bayern Munich over Juventus, and then a 5-goal thriller involving Manchester City and 𝚬𝚘𝚊𝚘. It was the WSL side who won it with Mary Valeranga 10 minutes from time. That was after Melanie Brunthaler had put the side into the lead as well. The home team, before City managed to recover themselves in the second period and bring themselves back on top. Arsenal will want to avoid a similar fate. Might all be about the start. Barcelona 3-0 up on Hammarby. The Swedish side in the other game taking place at this time. This game, certainly a close one. And Arsenal with no points coming into this game. Valeranga with no points coming into this game. Can only remain that way for one of them. In a moment, it is to be Arsenal who are set to take a step forward. And remember, they have Juventus away in mid-November as their next European game. A trip to West Ham in the WSL comes first on Sunday. That's for Valeranga. Next up, Bayern Munich away. No pressure. It's so important that they hit the front foot here, Arsenal, and it's Russo who's got Mead in the centre as well. Wrapped it into the body of a defender. It was Yanni Thompson who got in the way. Overlap might have, in better circumstances, fallen for McKay, but it didn't. Here's Williamson. Well, an acknowledgement from Russo. More to come from her, perhaps, in the second half. Until that emblem, well, should be hoping for all change. Goalkeeper's worst nightmare, isn't it? Fishing the ball out the back of your net with only a minute on the clock. Joined Valeranga earlier this year. She had been at Örebro in her Swedish homeland. It was a heavy control from Mariona Caldense. Williamson. A recovery from Fox. Williamson going long this time. Russo's in the centre here if they can use it. They're away from 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Might be lining up for McCabe, and here's Caldense. Out to Caitlin Ford. Well, that's where the move broke down. It was too close to Emma 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. One back there by Laia Kadina. Fancied it, and the goalkeeper couldn't hold it the first time. Well, she might have atoned for her earlier mistake there, Laia Kadina. It was she who was called out in possession in the lead up to the Valeranga goal. Trying for one of her own, and it was smothered at the second time of asking by Tove Emblem. Arsenal winners of this competition and the only English side to win it back in 2007. It was called the UEFA Women's Cup back then, 6 times into the latter stages, in the semi-finals. Back in the Champions League group stage after that famous, or infamous, elimination in the qualifiers last season. Came unstuck against Paris FC. Famous night here in the quarterfinals the season before. I was on that game. Came from behind in the second leg to beat Bayern Munich, but lost 5-4 in extra time in the semis against Wolfsburg. That was around about the time that Niels Neschera was coming into the Valeranga camp, formerly in the national team under the 23 setup. And he had some brushes with the tournament, Valeranga, forward with Thompson. It's going to be close to 𝚑𝚘𝚊𝚝𝚊. And an easy gather for the Dutch goalkeeper. And they made their debut in this competition before the format change. Valeranga. And this will see them rooted to the bottom of the group. As things stand, can all change with 1 goal. Into the last 32 on debut. They lost to Brøndby of Denmark on penalties. First ever game that in the competition proper. They breezed through the early rounds. Got their first goal in the group stage this evening. And they're trying to frustrate Arsenal now. McCabe. And she was trying to feed Rousseau. Away by Yanni Thompson. Well, coming up next for Arsenal, they take on Juventus in Turin in the middle of November. Here comes 𝚑𝚘𝚊𝚝𝚑. She was stopped by 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚗. The crowd certainly enjoyed it. As for Arsenal, they ended a 5-year absence from this competition in 2019-2020. Quarterfinals and semi-finals in succession, and that made last season all the more painful. But though it hurts 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘, they have at least found themselves back at Europe's top table. Started in the qualifiers against Rangers, and 5 goals, or 4 goals I should say, from Caitlin Ford to give them the 6 against the Scottish side. Good stop by Yanni Thompson. It had to be. Ford might have been in. And from 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. And Sarvik fancies this now. And still Sarvik. Oh, and she had to do better. Karina Sarvik with a goal right in front of her. Well, she was trying to put distance between her and the defender. 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 couldn't stop her. Turned inside Williamson and just put it too high. And that was the opportunity. Well, they might have believed for a moment, and they can go on believing now. And suddenly, we're starting to see the ghosts of old come to haunt Arsenal. But like a side with pressure on their shoulders, and there is pressure. Maybe the pressure as well for these players of a new head coach to play for in the coming weeks. That's a better move though, Little. Looking for the run of Mead. Now Ford. And Kim Little again. Mead with a back to goal. Tried to drill it through. Only hit Michaela Kovacs. Here's Mariona Caldente. Trying to get around Thompson. Belty McCabe. Now Little looking for a way through. Might have found one with Caitlin Ford here. It's still Ford. And it would have been a wonderful solo effort from the Australian. But in the end, it was a rather comfortable stop. No second for her just yet. She is Arsenal's top scorer this season. She had 5 coming into tonight, although that 4-goal haul in qualifying against Rangers, it does skew those figures somewhat. Valeranga's top scorer is Karina Sarvik. So you would have banked on her to put that chance away just a moment ago. Mariona Caldente. This is Ford. Russo trying to plot a pass. Thinking about it, Mariona Caldente using Russo. Defence has travelled up on it. And 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚗 and Williamson safely into the hands of the goalkeeper. And still the noise of the Valeranga supporters is echoing down the field. And the Norwegian side are attacking that end of the ground. And don't forget, we hope you're enjoying the fan zone here on DAZN. And if you like quizzes, well, you're in for a treat. We've got one running at the moment, so log in via the app or on our website. But if you're not there just yet, here's one for you now. What does Valeranga mean in English? I won't keep you waiting long for the answer. The answer is Valley of the Kings. So I'm told. I don't actually speak Norwegian. Little was the perceived aggressor, and the home fans don't agree. Sticking by their captain. 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚘 was firm in her stance, and she just overstretched a little. Foul 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 And it comes from 𝚑𝚘𝚛𝚊𝚝. Arsenal will be able to clear their lines, or should be able to, with Caitlin Ford. And she'll take that in the end. 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚡 set up both Arsenal goals on match day 1. It was 2-2 when she was taken off. Then things rapidly changed, didn't they? Mariona with not much room to turn in, and she's given that to 𝚬𝚑𝚘𝚗. And the shot from distance from 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚗 was hit well, and hit well enough to secure a corner. And she was named in the top Syrian team of the year last season. She was a nominee for the league's player of the year. It was a threat in midfield, 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Broke through at just 16, Arna Bjorna. 24 now. Well, there's a plan here. And it's just been relayed to 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚗. Arsenal trying to make Janni Thomsen feel uncomfortable. Who can the Valeranga captain find? In swing up. Didn't threaten Mariona Caldente. Might be back in from 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚗 here. And the heads have gone up from both sides, and Sarah Herta was heading that one towards goal. Arsenal are in a battle here. They've been drawn back into a contest, and well, they drew themselves back into it, really. Destiny in their hands with Russo now, though. Wanted some support approaching, found it in Ford. McKay with no obvious pass going forward. There's 𝗬𝚊𝚘𝚗𝚊. And Little. Quick feet from me. Emily Fox now. Who can she find? Not against Thompson. Down she went. Well, it looked soft, and the referee agreed, it seems. And she was trying to find a way through to cross, knowing that she had 3 Arsenal shirts available, and she couldn't believe it. And Emily Fox approaching 50 caps for the USA now. A wealth of talent that 𝗚𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 has got under her in interim charge. Quite the player in her day until a knee injury ended her playing days in the late 20s. Played for Djurgården, Linköping in Sweden. So as we edge towards the hour mark, Arsenal are going to make a couple of changes here. And so 𝚑𝚘𝚛𝚊𝚝 is the first to be replaced. Always a big reception for her. 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 the one to come on. We're also going to see Frida Leonardsen-Mornem. The end of the road for me. Still an important game to think about on Sunday as well. Plenty of balance needed. And so Frida Leonardsen-Mornem and 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 brought into the action. Won by Bjelda. Interesting to see what this does to Arsenal's shape, if anything. 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 will go in the left-back slot that's been occupied and vacated by McKay, but Leonardsen-Mornem brings that element of freedom. It was her brilliant goal that got Arsenal back level in that memorable quarter-final tie against Bayern Munich a few seasons ago. Absolute cork at this end of the ground as well. Such memories might feel like a long time ago, though, as Mariona at least avoids the corner. Arsenal do have a lot of options on the bench tonight. Less so for Valeranga. They've only named 5 outfield players. In front of their fans they are now, though. That ball won't reach Emma Sterling-Gerda. 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 taken down by Bjelda. It's opportunity. Played in by Thompson and couldn't find a blue shirt at the end of it. Better spell this from Valeranga. One of the best we've seen. Little was beaten to it, but Arsenal have come back up with the ball. Here's Williamson, and there's a renewed vigour about their opponents now. It's as if they've sensed that with half an hour to go, they are still very much in this battle. Played most of this game with a yellow card, don't forget, 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Can be difficult for a defender of all positions, can't it? However, they might be needing the defenders here, because 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 has had to come a long way to deal with the threat of Frida Leonardsen-Mornem. And she put it the wrong side of the flag as well. All of a sudden they were overcommitted, Valeranga. And so Frida Leonardsen-Mornem, who was born in Oslo, can she be the one to orchestrate Valeranga's downfall in this game? She and 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 to do the honours. It will be 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Kadina got up for it. It was away by 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Arsenal with bodies up in an advantageous position here. Mariona played it just too close to the head of Bjelda. And it was an ambitious ball up towards 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘, didn't find it. Put on to get into those kind of areas. And Fox, who got this game off to a rip-roaring start in the second minute. Well, there's still a healthy amount of time available. We could have the whole range of results here. This is Frida Leonardson-Mornem. Mariona now, up against Michaela Kovacs. Russo in the middle, so is Ford. Leonardson-Mornem and Russo. Oh, she got there ahead of the defender, it looked. And then a last-ditch save to keep this a tight game. Well, a decisive intervention there by Kovacs. The goalkeeper's got to be careful here, Emblem. Could have chosen to pick it up. Wasn't a bad ball to Thompson in the end. Trying to turn his 𝗬𝚘𝚝𝚑. Had that glorious chance to equalise. Saw 𝗬𝚘𝚝𝚑𝚘 on the overlap. And they're starting to feel their way into this game. Valeranga. Like a side who can cause you problems, and it was a tight game against Juventus, had opportunities. That one goal from 𝗧𝗘𝗏𝗏𝚘𝚏𝚘. The problem here for 𝗵𝚘𝚘𝚏𝚘𝚏, who was one of the players who came into the lineup. And Stina Bredkin, who was taken off in the first game, she wasn't involved at all when the team lineups were issued over an hour before kickoff. Got a whack from Russo there. Do have a couple of options on the bench, but she's certainly the more senior choice, 𝗵𝚘𝚘𝚏𝚘𝚏. And the likes of the young 𝗫𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 on the bench. Teenage Ronja Arnesen in that position. This really is the bare bones that they've got available. 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 with the challenge. Flicked on by Mariona, and she might have another go here. And look at Russo getting ahead. It's Mariona Caldente though. She's not bothered about the rest. But it was too central in the end to catch out Emblem. Well, how many times did we see her do that in a Barcelona shirt? Trying to work the magic for Arsenal. There was no magic about that foul from Caitlin Ford. And there will be a yellow card. Just a reminder, there's no danger in this game of any player from either side missing out on the next game for too many yellow cards, although a red would see that become an eventuality. It's the odd number of cards you have to avoid. Your 3s and your 5s. And so far, Caitlin Ford and Kadina, they're both on 1. Away by Torsnes. Not the clearest ball. Mariona and Williamson. Now Little, she can drive. And 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Frida Leonardson-Mornem calling for that on the edge of the area. In the end, it's Ford. And Catley. Patient build-up play this from Arsenal. Williamson's ball, trying to thread it through, and it nearly had its intended target there in Russo. Something's missing from this game in the second half, something of the pace, the energy we had in the first 45. The goals as well. After Arsenal hit the lead after 2 minutes, well, it looked like the floodgates might open. Hasn't panned out that way, though. Even so, Valeranga will be kicking themselves. An early concession against a team of this standard, even if they are undergoing a malaise of sorts at the moment. All the plans will have had to be shredded. And then something that wasn't in the plan, a slip up from 𝗚𝗚𝗏𝗏 to get them back into the game before the break. 𝗚𝗏𝗏𝚏 allowed to go no further by 𝗬𝚘𝚛𝚊. Still, those Norwegian supporters are bringing the noise. It's a deafening din for what can only be a couple of hundred max, I would say. Thudded away. And a scrappy passage, and in the end it worked out Arsenal's way. Oh, a poor ball from 𝗚𝗚𝗏𝗏, and now the pressure is right back on. Going for goal here. Right, it was the wrong option. From 𝚑𝚘𝚊𝚝, not nearly far enough out of her goal to really make that a danger moment. She fancied it here, 𝚬𝚘𝚆𝚝𝚗. During the start of the current top Liga season from Iceland's Stjarnan. Still continue to be frozen out. Here's Mariona Caldente. 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚝𝚗. The elder's got to try and stop her, and it was just over the head of Russo. Well, they have to feel it's coming. Well, it's a period of change at the moment for Arsenal. We asked you in the first half, who do you want to be the next manager? Well, 44% of you said René Slegers, but 45% said Casey Stoney. Make of that what you will. A nice open field, and well, plenty of discussions to be had over the coming week. Here's Little. Looking for the run of Mariona Caldente. Here's Catley. And Ford now. Trying to turn Thompson. It's a battle between those two. And the referee ran out of patience. And Arsenal with a free kick here in an advantageous position. So will it be Leonardson-Mornem or will it be Catley? Will it be a two-goal lead again for Arsenal? Instructions belted out by Emblem. Have to try and keep a tight ship. Look at those red and white shirts peppered around that penalty area. Waiting for this delivery. It's Leonardson-Mornem. And away by Thompson. Might need the second touch, and that came from 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Well, there's more Women's Champions League action coming tomorrow as matchday 2 continues here on DAZN. Both Celtic and Chelsea will be in action on this, your global home of women's football. Stick around. And if that wasn't enough for you, we've got 4 more match days and a knockout stage. You'll have to stick with us until late May for the final in Lisbon. Quarter-finals, they get in the way in the final weeks of March. It's April for the semis. And this is Caitlin Ford here. Little. Steph Catley. Lofting one up. Was looking for Leonardson-Mornem, couldn't find her. Underneath it was 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 in the right place at the right time. Arsenal maintaining that pressure. They've weathered the storm slightly. saw a good period for the visiting side midway through this half, and all of a sudden now Arsenal in the ascendancy, it feels. Means nothing if you can't find the net. 𝗚𝗏𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 Russo in the middle. Oh, and the goalkeeper spilled it there too. Until the Emblem's had a couple of those so far. It's so important now that Valeranga keep their shape, stick to what's helped them in this half. The agony of another one-goal loss, well, that could be round the corner. This has come to 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 though. Putting in a nice cross too. Fox was underneath it, and Little can try and help it on its way under pressure though. From 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 and 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚘. Well, it was a nice flick, but it would have worked better if there was a red and white shirted player at the end of it. 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Yanni Thompson. Well, it's a difficult trip for anybody. Their trip to Bayern Munich. Arsenal's conquerors on the opening match day are what lies in store for Valeranga when we return to the Champions League in mid-November. They should be champions of Norway for a third time then. It'll take something bordering on football miracle territory to deprive them. They should know by the weekend. Forward from 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘. This is 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Williamson might be tempted to just get it long here. Sticking to playing out from the back though, Arsenal, and it has worked in their favour with Fox. 𝚬𝚏𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. You could hear a calls for it echoing down the pitch. Mariona. Third goal could kill it here. Missed touch by 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. It was put right to the feet by Ď𝚊𝚆, but with perhaps too much pace for the Norwegian. And so the minutes not in Vålerenga's favour. Arsenal edging towards what should be a win. 5,000 in the crowd to see it, and they're going to see Stina Blackstenius come on for the remainder. Dropped to the bench for the Chelsea game on the weekend, saw a quarter of an hour's action. Came out of the side for this one as well. It's 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Some sides would have panicked going behind after a minute. But in credit to Vålerenga, they've kept themselves believing. They've played some good football at times. The errors haven't helped them. Arsenal's error did. However, plenty of pressure being exerted by the home fans here. And by those on the pitch. It's going to be Caitlin Ford who is withdrawn. This in the 30th minute, opening up a nice cushion for Arsenal, one they weren't able to maintain. And on comes Stina Blackstenius, who was part of the Häcken side and knocked Vålerenga out of the qualifiers in 2021. Going to be the thorn in their side again. She was the one to wrap up even. An memorable win against Bayern Munich in the quarter-finals, 2021-2022. Away by Bjelda. No away, clearly, though. Arsenal can advance here. Fox had a header and went for goal, but way off target. Well, she's got the taste for goals so far, hasn't she? Ashburn, Virginia native. you can hear Niels Lecturer from everywhere in this ground. As 𝚑𝚘𝚛𝚊𝚝. Arsenal with plenty of patience. That's a misstep though. Sterling Gurda. Bjelda. Svensson had to go back to go forward. Forward by Vikius. And Thompson now. Steph Catley trying to keep her out. And will do. Now then, Russo. Looking for Blackstenius, who's going to chase it, but chase in vain because she's offside. Keen to get among the action. And our team of Spanish referees had other thoughts, and she is just off there for my money. It's another wasted opportunity for Valeranga. Too much air for Thompson to chase down. Is this game just slipping away from them? It had so much promise coming into the second half after that lifeline they were thrown. 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 with the cue, but again, it's no way through for Arsenal. And forced out is Mariana Caldente. She'll have the throw-in, however. Here's Velti. Pace of the game right now, it suits Arsenal. They don't need the extra goal. Valeranga do. 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚘 might be an early candidate for it, and what a different hue now thrown across that chance she had. Took Leah Williamson completely out of the game, but couldn't keep a shot on target. That might have been the moment that it changed. Now then, opportunity for Blackstenius. Went down to ground, referee said too easily. And away by Thompson. 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚘 wants more support in attack. She has cut a lonely figure in blue for much of this game. Here's Little, and she's been allowed to roll. Leonardson-Mornham. And Blackstenius. And smothered by the goalkeeper. Not clear though. Leonardson-Mornham with the effort. Well, it went from salvation to shambles at the back from Valeranga. And the danger might not be dealt with yet. Mariona. Leonardson-Mornham. Blackstenius and Russo in the middle. Little can't find a way through to them yet. This is Catley. Russo. Velti. Arsenal looking for the moment that might just kill this game off. Forward by Williamson. Catley was the target. Only met Torshness. Here's Russo now. Thompson trying to get her body across. Russo went down as well, but the referee had a good view. And 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘, well, she has to have been fouled there. And that's an expert art of winning a free kick when there's no teammate around you, like Cadena, who conceded it. she's earned a yellow card. That's 2 for her now for the Champions League. On comes the 18-year-old Ronja Arnesen to replace Leen Vickius. A breakthrough season for her. Vickius we've seen physically struggling through the end of this second half. Arnesen make her Champions League proper debut. Still on the bench against Juventus. She's got 6 minutes plus added time to have an impact. Oh, Blackstenius fancies this. And Blum acted quickly. One bit of trickery, or one mistake now. That could decide it. Leonardson Morning and Blackstenius. They're all queuing up here, and Mariona Caldente. And that should win it for Arsenal. Well, it got nervy, didn't it? But suddenly the North London side open up that cushion once more, just as their Norwegian visitors were threatening to put the squeeze on them in the closing stages. A well-worked move. It started with Alessia Russo. Leonardson Mornham had a head up early. No direct route through to goal for Blackstenius, but Mariona Caldente, she always knows the way. And Arsenal now gunning for victory in the UEFA Women's Champions League. Well, the result that will have been expected, perhaps, maybe not the route that we would have expected to reach it, and it could get worse here because Blackstenius is coming forward. It's Stina Blackstenius, might get a second go at this. Frame of the goal. And it's still there with Mariona Caldente, although 𝚑𝚘𝚛𝚊 got in her way in the end. And look at the slick move. It was straight through the gears. And Blackstenius, well, first chance was straight at the goalkeeper, the second, it's desperately unlucky. Well, you've got a difficult choice to make now, if you're watching this, because there's time to make your voice heard in the DAZN fan zone. Tell us who your player of the match is, and we'll announce it when the full-time whistle blows. You might have thought it was a simple one. You've got a few more criteria to look into now, haven't you? Valeranga's still not done yet, though. That goal might just condemn them to a second defeat. Can they change things in the final moments? This is 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 and Thompson. Found the cross, but also found the palms of 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 good fire, Black Stanius. And now the singing is building up again at Arsenal Stadium. And you can hear, you can feel the angst and the anticipation creeping in. And those Valeranga fans, well, they've kept singing their hearts out all the way through. We look forward to seeing more of them. Here comes Russo. 𝗵𝗔𝗃𝗃 is getting ready to come on for Arsenal. The first action of the season. No way through for 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚘. This one grinding to a conclusion in the end, and Arsenal looking to see if they can improve the goal difference. Forward it went to 𝚑𝚘𝚛𝚊𝚘𝚗. It all counts, head-to-head, the goal difference, the points, the momentum. It's the drama, isn't it? Look at this from Thompson, though. And she found 𝚑𝚘𝚛𝚊𝚘𝚗. Looking slightly leggy, Valeranga now. Thompson. Well, had the touch to beat the first, not the second, and Catley manages to block it away. Starting again is 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚗. Powerful shot by 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚗. Now Kovacs. 𝗬𝚊𝚝𝚅𝚘𝚅. 𝗑𝚘𝚘. Arsenal can just sit behind the ball now, can't they, and absorb the pressure. This is 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝗪𝚏. 𝗬𝚘𝚘. Emma 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚪. Always off target, but hefty deflection. And it is going to be a corner. And so is there a final moment of panic for Arsenal? The week they've had.
Tonight's Arsenal Women's Supporters Club player of the match, number 2, Emily Fox.
Well, Emily Fox has got the vote from those inside the ground. And she wasn't going to escape there, was she? A couple of yards pinched, and it goes down well. From 𝚑𝚘𝚛𝚊𝚝. Outswinger. Put back in by Bielda, but having to chase it is Karina Savik, and confirms what we suspected, she's offside. Well, there's some confusion. Some thought that that was the final whistle. It is indeed for added time and for the offside. So a raft of changes then. We'll see Lina Hurtig get her first moments of the season for Arsenal. Returned to training at the start of the season after some time out. She struggled with a persistent back injury in her time at Arsenal. Good to see that she'll be getting some time. Off comes Thea Bielda. Good game from her. She'll be replaced by Tomina Enger, just 16 years old. Also coming on is Tilde Lindvall for Olav Tvedsson. Scorer, a moment that'll never get taken away from her. Of her club's first goal in the Champions League group stage. On comes Lindvall, midfielder. And we've got Marwa Sasai, who will replace 𝗍𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘. Defender comes striker. On comes the young forward, only 19 years old. So we've seen a whole raft of changes, mate. Now that Arsenal changes, 𝗬𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 coming off. And to a warm reception, Lina Hurtig. And it's always a good sight to see. Also Laia Kadina. And look at this, what a moment for young Casey Reed at Arsenal since the age of 13. She's 18 now. Signed a new contract this October. Runs out now at Arsenal Stadium. Most of those 3 minutes have been taken up by the substitutions that we had, and there were enough of them, weren't there? So who knows how long we'll be playing. However, that third goal for Arsenal opens up what might be a chasm between the two sides, and there could be another now. Russo wraps it up in style. Arsenal have their fourth, a result that might flatter them on reflection, but they won't care. And it's turned into a rough night for Valeranga, who will go in search again of their first points of the Champions League group stage, because no one are coming tonight. And Arsenal in the attacking third at least, well, they have been clinical. And Russo has a goal. Second of the term for the Lioness. And Alessia Russo takes the margin beyond any doubt. We've also seen Iselin Sonnes Olsen come on, by the way, for Valeranga. centre half. 𝗬𝗓𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗 has made way. And here comes the newest minted goal scorer, and now 𝗬𝗓𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗𝚗 She fancies it. Just out of her grasp, and the whistle had gone anyway. No hard feelings between her and 𝚬𝚘𝚘𝚊, and Arsenal have wrapped this one up by a clear margin in the end. Well, they were made to work for it, but those who have turned out 5,000 have got their win in the end. Caitlin Ford, the man of the match, voted by you guys, and the Visa fans out. I beg your pardon, Emily Fox voted your player of the match. 45% of you, but 100% of you have witnessed an Arsenal victory. And well, it was in doubt for some time, but it is a win for 𝚬𝚘𝚊𝚝𝚐 in her interim charge. They'll go again in the WSL against West Ham on Sunday. But this one was the important one.